tastes like burning.
Okay, so this week's episode is really more of a, let's call it a public service announcement and kind of based on a question. Um, Recently, last week, I did the review for The Conjuring, and I had probably one of the worst experiences at the movie theater I've had in a very long time. And it wasn't the theater itself, it wasn't the movie, I love the movie. It was the people that was forced to watch it with. Basically, the entire back row, right behind me, these people weren't even together. They just decided to try and predict out loud what was going to happen next in the scene, or discuss amongst themselves what was going to happen in the scene, or sit there and poke fun at the movie, which completely takes a person out of the experience, especially with something like a horror movie, where you're trying to get so sucked into it that every little thing does make you jump, gives you the shivers, everything like that. And to have something like that behind you, it definitely ruins the experience that you have with the movie. And it's not just horror movies. I've had this happen a ridiculous amount of times with every movie that I've gone to. And this brings up the question that I had. When did we lose respect for the art of theater, for movies themselves, to the point where we pay $10 to go see a movie, to go sit in a dark theater for 2.5 hours, and sit there and talk about the movie as it's going on, irregardless of what the people around us think or thinking or doing or trying to enjoy the movie themselves? It's just, when did this generation of people come to be? And it's just really, really disheartening to me, because I am such a huge movie lover, and I do like to go watch movies in the theaters because it is a lot easier to get sucked into a movie when you can't pull out your phone and check your email, text messages, whatever apps you might have, because you have that dark theater and you're trying to be respectful to the people around you and not bring up that light from your phone to where everyone, gets completely distracted. You have the light coming from off screen. But it's just something where nowadays, basically anybody, and I'm not even talking about teenagers, even though they are the biggest problem. I'm talking about just even grown adults go to movies and just sit there and talk and laugh. And I've even had people start singing along with a song that was in the movie. It's like, seriously, how do you think that something like that is okay? And this is something that also kind of branches into another problem that I have. It's a little different than, people talking in the theater, which I don't think is ever going to go away, because as the generations go on, people just get more and more disrespectful and just care less and less about what the people around them think, because, we're raised on this whole reality TV generation where, the more outlandish that you are, the more likely you are to get noticed and get your own reality show. It's just stuff like that I completely despise, and I absolutely hate that that's where we're going nowadays. It's also why we have more reality shows than we do actual programming, and it's just very, very sad. But the next problem that I have, also kind of a public service announcement, is the internet spoilers. This has been a problem that's been around since the internet began. And it's where you go watch a movie or you play a video game, and then you go online and either bash it, talk about it, or just your first thought is to spoil the heck out of it. Just completely ruin the ending for people who haven't played it or seen it, anything like that. I mean, it's one of those things where there are games out there where they have those enormous twists, and the movies are the same way. Like, would the impact of The Sixth Sense have been the exact same if, you'd gone online to check the reviews or look for showtimes and someone just blatantly puts the ending of the movie up there? Would you even want to see it? No, it's the same principle of, don't talk in the theater because you're ruining the experience. Don't spoil the movie because you're ruining the experience. What would have happened to you back whenever the Star Wars Empire Strikes Back came out and people came walking out of the theater while you're sitting there waiting to go in, and they come walking out and go, "Oh my God, I can't believe Darth Vader..." See there, I'm not even spoiling that, because just on the off chance that any one of you hasn't actually seen those movies, despite how old they are. This is something that I've been trying to do since I began doing this, and even before that, was check to make sure the person has seen the movie before I start talking to them about it, or ask them if they even care if I spoil parts of it. But the internet is just a place where everyone can go online, talk about whatever they want, and just say whatever they want. And it's a horrible, horrible place. I don't like the social media integration, and I don't like that there's nothing out there that really stops people from spoiling this. There's no blocking. Recently, someone actually made an app like a companion app to Twitter, where if you talk about a show, it will search for spoilers and block that post from being seen by certain people who sign up for the app as well and say they don't want certain shows or movies spoiled. And I think that's brilliant. That's something that we need more of. But it's going to be a long way off because there's just so many different sites out there. There's so many different sides of the internet. Not to mention just people themselves being complete asses.
I guess these brownies are mine.